Right, Joe Leigh here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by Ben Davison here in London. Second leg of the tour. 1 second. Second leg of the tour. That's the couple of media days done. Good couple of days for a huge fight, obviously, in February.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Keep using the word showcase, and it's an opportunity for Josh to have a showcase performance, and one that we'll make sure that he capitalises on.
In terms of fights you've been involved with, we know you've been involved in fights with Tyson Fury. Where are you ranking this? Because this is a huge fight.
Yeah, it's a huge fight. Josh is Britain's only ever four-belt undisputed champion in history, and this is his homecoming. So, with respect to Jack's skills, there is a golfing class. That's the reality of it. As long as Josh turns up at 100% and gets in the ring at 100%, there is a golfing class. So that's why I keep using the word showcase, and it's a potential showcase for Josh. And when people talk about Josh Taylor, this is potentially a night that they'll look back and remember.
And when you're training Josh, you're training him for a showcase stoppage-esque performance?
Yeah, whether it's a stoppage or not a stoppage. When I say showcase, I mean for him to really show his class and show that there is a golfing class between the two fighters and show that he's on a level of his own.
What do you make of Jack Catterall as an opponent? Obviously, it's clear Taylor, in your opinions, is much higher level, but where do you rank him in terms of people Josh has fought before?
We'll have to see, because this is a huge step up for him, but it doesn't mean that the guys can't rise to the occasion. So, as I say, we'll be preparing for Jack like he's the best fighter that's ever stepped foot on the planet. But as I say, if Josh gets in the ring at 100%, the reality is there is a golfing class.
Back to kind of what I was just mentioning, does it feel like one of the biggest fights you're going to be involved with for a while? So going to Scotland kind of thing?
Yeah, of course. It'll be my first time heading over to Scotland to be around and take in the atmosphere created at the Hydro for a Josh Taylor fight. So it's one that I'm looking forward to for sure.
Yeah, in Vegas, obviously, this past weekend, not for the first time, for Devin Haney. Good performance from him overall. How did you assess it?
Yeah, it was a good performance. I think that one thing I love about Devin is I think he might be currently the youngest champion in boxing and possibly the best division in world boxing, potentially with the best resume certainly this year out of the lot of them. So, and he's the youngest at 23. Yet still, 23 years old, successful world title defence against a former world champion in a wide points victory. I knew instantly he wasn't satisfied with that, and that's the mentality that I love. That's why he's so enjoyable to coach, because he has that mentality. He's desperate for any improvement and every improvement that he can get and that he can make. So, yeah, good defence, solid defence, areas to improve as always. I was just saying there, we go over Josh's fight against Ramirez, and while such a huge win, we look back and say, could have done this, could have done that, that could have been a bit better. Look at the strengths, look at the weaknesses, and critique it. But that's how you get better, just as much, if not more so, than the time spent in the gym.
With Devin, obviously, there's quite a few people in his corner. What is your exact role?
Well, his dad's his head coach, but obviously we work together. In between the rounds, we'll be discussing. We get up there, Bill will deliver, or sometimes Bill will turn around and say to me, anything to add, coach, or Devin will look at me and I'll have my say. I do think it was slightly smoother in the Linares fight, the corner, but there were some more faces in the corner this time, which in my opinion was a little bit of an issue, but it's something that we'll discuss and look over and assess and address and make sure it's put right for the next time, which hopefully is the Kambosos undisputed fight.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up actually. How likely is that? It seems like they both want the fight, and Haney seems like he would fight. He said like on the moon or something. He's happy to go to Australia.
Yeah, the thing is, like what everybody moans is that there's too many belts in boxing, and that we just want to see one face, one name, one champion, and this is an opportunity for that. This is an opportunity for us to have a solidified man at the weight, and also for both fighters. How many times will a fighter in his career have an opportunity to have an undisputed fight? Not many. So it's an opportunity that both fighters must take. We saw recently with Tyson and Joshua when the opportunity come, and wasn't able to strike while the iron was hot, and now that opportunity looks up in the air. This is an opportunity that both fighters have got to take, so I'm sure they'll be able to get the business side of it sorted.
Yeah, of course, and obviously it was looking like there was small little rumours that AJ could step aside and the undisputed fight would happen with Usyk and Fury, but now obviously the mandatory Dillian Whyte looks like he's going to be fighting Tyson Fury. What do you make of that fight?
Yeah, look, you know, one thing whenever people ask me about Tyson and his match-up against this person, match-up against that person, Tyson's so versatile. That's why I believe he's the best heavyweight out of all of them. But depending on how he goes about the fight, I think that if he goes about the fight in an aggressive manner, it could make for a really entertaining fight for the fans as well. So, interested to see how he approaches the fight.
And for Dillian Whyte, obviously this is the biggest chance of his career. He's been waiting for this for so long.
Yeah, he deserves the opportunity. He does. You know, he's had a solid resume, great victories. You know, the fashion in which he got beat by Povetkin, then come back and took care of business was really impressive and showed a lot about his character. So, you know, he deserves this opportunity.
Of course. One more thing I just want to talk about, obviously AJ, the recent situation. He's not sure on who's going to be his trainer for the next fight. Obviously he said a few things. I believe he'll still be with Rob McCracken and everything like that. But what would you make if he was to go over to America?
Depends who he goes with. Do you know what I mean? America's a big place. Every coach is different. You know, I think that the Reynoso setup, style, details that it comes across, I don't know, I've not spoken to him, but it comes across watching their fighters that they're quite pinpoint on certain details. I know exactly, I can picture exactly the scenario Canelo means when he's talking about the importance of feints, especially in that fight. And I know exactly how they'll be telling him to go about that fight. So I think stylistically that's a good matchup for the way that Joshua needs to approach that fight. But obviously there's a language barrier there. So the problem is it shouldn't be a case of, oh, should I go about it in this way? Should I go about it in that way? If he can't get someone to explain to him, this is why you have to go about the fight in this way. This is why this is the right way. There is no doubt in my mind, if you do this, this is what's going to happen. These are the scenarios that it's going to create, and this is what you need to do when you create those scenarios. Then he's not come across the right guy. Like, there should not be any question of, oh, I need to do this, I need to go about it in this manner. This is what I need to do in that situation. This is what I need to do in that scenario. So, you know, I want to see him win. I want to see him win because he's an overachiever, and that's not a negative comment. That's to say that, you know, it just goes to show how much commitment and dedication he's shown to his craft, which was certainly shown after the Ruiz fight to do what he done there, and the adjustments that he made in his style and the improvements he made after that fight. He just needs to make a few more adjustments and more improvement again going into the Usyk rematch. So I'd like to see him win. One, because of that, the commitment that he's shown to his craft, but two, you know, it means that we'd eventually get to see the Tyson Joshua fight that everyone's wanted to see.
Yeah. It seems like you've got a good set of instructions for AJ on how to go into that rematch. It's a crazy question, but how likely is it that you could ever train AJ?
It's not about the likeliness of me training AJ. It is. It's just a case of, look, they're the fighter. They go out and source the information that they want. If he was to ask me my opinion, obviously I'm going to share my opinion. Like I said there, I'd like to see him win that fight. But it needs to be the whole package as well. You can't have, oh, so-and-so told me to go about the fight in this way, and so I'm going to go and train with that guy because I like the way he trains. Do you know what I mean? You need someone that's going to go, do you know what? This person has made me feel sure that this is the right way to go about the fight. They click the way they're working in the gym. Relationship is there, and everything needs to be correct for you to make the adjustments that he made, which he was able to do from the Ruiz fight, first fight going into the second fight. So he made the right judgment calls there, and the right changes there for him to be able to be successful there. So let's just hope that he can do it again.
Yeah, if he was to come up to you with serious questions and you obviously built a good relationship, but asked you to be in his corner, how would you react to that?
It's a long way from that happening. But if he asked me for my opinion, I'm going to give him my opinion, and I'd help him. I'd help him to the best of my ability to be successful in that fight.
Want to quickly go on to Josh Taylor one more time to finish off the interview. This is obviously the biggest fight of his life, and I know you're not Josh, so I'm not going to... so I feel like I can ask what can happen next. Obviously, this is at 140. He's undisputed. He's had the homecoming. He's had the good performance that you're talking about. He can hopefully put on. Is it going to be a step up straight after in terms of going up to welterweight 147?
Life doesn't exist past February 26th. We're solely focused on Jack Catterall. And that's why I'm confident Josh getting in the ring at 100% and putting on a showcase performance, because there is no focus barring February 26th and Jack Catterall.
Now listen, I really look forward to it, and the Scottish crowd as well is going to be excellent. I look forward to seeing everything go down in Scotland.